My dearest cadets, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope you all are well at your respective houses during this corona pandemic. This corona pandemic, this is such a situation which the world has never seen before. Everything is stopped, but your beloved alma mater, Burshal Cadet College, has arranged online classes for you. I hope you're going to be largely benefited from this class.
Dear cadets, without much more delay, I'd like to move into today's lesson. But before that, I'd like to officially congratulate you for your brilliant SSC result and for being promoted in class 11. You know me, I am your Bulbul Gaji sir, lecturer in English, Borshal Cadet College. While preparing this lesson for you, I consulted mainly these two resources. One is English for Today for class 11 and 12, prescribed by National Curriculum and Textbook Board, Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary. This lesson is meant for you, class 11 boys, and the topic is unit is writing. Now, there is a diagram on the screen. You can see that is lamp doesn't work, then the reason lamp plugged in, whether the lamp is plugged in, has the bulb burned out. Now what we should do, repair the lamp. Now lamp was plugged in, so replace the bulb and repair the lamp. Now what do you understand? Are you in physics class? No, this is not a physics class. This is definitely English class. What we are going to do by this picture, that here you can see a process, right? We in this lesson are going to learn this process, a flowchart. This is a flowchart. So today we are going to take a class 1 flowchart. Now dear cadets, in your SSC level English you had many things, and in intermediate level English you have few new things. Flowchart is one of them. The interesting part about flowchart is you have solid marks in it. It's like math. You get, so as I was talking about, that this is like math. You get full marks in it. You have 10 marks in flowchart writing. You get 10 out of 10 if you follow some strategy. These strategies we will be covering up in the later part of this lesson. So flowchart we are going to discuss about. See here, the flowchart is like that. There is a box and there are some other boxes. You have to fill them in as you are asked. After this lesson, we will be able to describe what flowchart is, describe the types of flowchart, describe style of answering flowchart, explain the basic structure of flowchart, apply the structure of flowchart. Now, what is a flowchart? A flowchart is a type of diagram that represents a workflow or process. A flowchart can also be defined as a diagrammatic presentation of an algorithm, a step-by-step approach to solving a task. As I was talking about, a flowchart is a systematic representation of data algorithm, step-by-step approach to solving a task. Now, the flowchart shows the steps as boxes of various kinds and the order by connecting the boxes with arrows. This diagrammatic representation illustrates a solution model to a given problem. Now, dear cadets, you have understood what is a flowchart is. So there will be a flow. It will start from the beginning and there will be some process and there will be a conclusion. Here, this is an example. Now, types of flowchart. Document flowcharts showing controls over a document flow through a system, data flow charts, which is showing controls over data flow in a system. The next type is system flowchart, showing controls at a physical or resource level. Finally, program flowchart, showing the controls in a program within a system. These are the basic types of flowchart. There might be several other types of flowchart, but these are the basic 4 types of flowchart. How to respond? See the question when once you get your hand, first thing you have to do, check the structure given. You see, here a structure is given, getting married early. So we have to follow the structures. This is very important. Which structure we have been asked, which structure we are dealing with. Check the question, what is asked. Remember, dear cadets, this part is very important. If you are asked to tell your name, you should not be writing your friend's name. You should write your own name. When you are asked to write about a cow, you should write about a cow. So this is very important. What the question wants you to do. You know, I told you that this is like math. You do specifically exactly what you are asked to do. Read the passage again. Once you have checked the structure and you have read the question, after that you read the passage again with a specific objective, that what you have to do. Now, how to answer? Start from the start. This is very important. Suppose you are reading a passage on Kazi Nazrul Islam. So definitely the passage will start how he was born, when he was born, and then the gradual development of activities, his schooling, his being matured, then writing, right? So in the flowchart, we have to maintain that flow. We have to maintain that chain of action. We cannot deviate from the course of action. So that is the important thing. Start from the start. Do not write full sentence. Dear cadets, this is the place where most students make mistakes. They write full sentence in the box, which is strictly forbidden. If you write full sentence, the answer is incorrect. I repeat, the answer will not be accepted. So we do not write full sentence with subject, verb, and complement inside the box together. Remember, the subject, the verb, and the complement. These 3 parts cannot be inside the box. Write in note form or title. That's what actually the repetition of the second point. Write in note form, in bullet form, or in title form. Be precise. The charisma of a good writer is using little or amount of words, using few words. They can tell many things. That's what you have to do. Be exact, be precise. Finally, follow the structure. The structure, as we talked about earlier, the structure must be followed. The structure, I'm talking about it later on, the possible structure, we have to follow those structure. The example given, we should follow that example. Complete what you start. The first point says start from the start, then you have to give it a finishing. That's what is required. You start and you give a suitable finish. As remember, as described in the passage, you have no liberty, you have no authority to import ideas apart from the passage. Now, possible structures: participle phrase, noun adverb phrase, or any other type of phrase, prepositional phrase, and then incomplete sentence. Participle phrase. You know, participle is verb plus ing functioning as adjective. The horse trotting up to the fence hopes that you have an apple or carrot. So trotting up to the fence, this is the participle phrase. Eaten by mosquitoes. This is past participle. Eaten by mosquitoes. Past participle phrase. We wished that we had met hotel, not campsite reservation. So this is eaten by mosquitoes. This part is participle phrase. Noun phrase. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox. Noun phrase. The end of the season is hard for some athletes. So remember, this is the most common structure given in flowchart. The end of the season. The, then adjective or adverb, and then preposition, and then noun. So this is a common possible structure given. A phrase, I was delighted he was chosen for the was delighted. This is also a possible structure. The brownies smell deliciously sweet. They also look delicious, right? Smell deliciously sweet. This is also a possible structure. Smell deliciously sweet. The incomplete sentence when it is structure is used. Adverb phrase. I parked the car right here under the bridge. You see, right here under the bridge. This is adverb phrase. Right here under the bridge. I parked the car right here under the bridge. To end discrimination. This is also an adverb phrase, and this is also a common format for flowchart writing. Prepositional phrase. Prepositional plus noun, pronoun, gerund or clause. Preposition plus modifiers, noun, pronoun, gerund or clause with preposition me, preposition by singing, by preposition singing gerund about what we need. This is also a possible structure. See the first one, a clause that will not be used in flowchart writing. Now, dear cadets, this is the possible question you may face in the exam. So what the question says. So now, application of the knowledge we have learned so far. What are the first thing? Check the structure. So here, check structure is that getting married early. This is a participle phrase. And then the next instruction was how to respond, was to read the question again. So we are reading the question. Read the following text and make a flowchart showing how women in our country lose connection with the outside world and get confined in the household with no change of self-reliance. So the question is asking basically to show how the women are being confined after marriage. So as the first structure is getting married early. So let's read the passage. In Bangladesh, the legal age of marriage for girls is 18. However, 30% of girls get married before they are 15 years old, and 60% of them give birth by the time they reach 19. When an adolescent girl gets married, she usually drops out of school and thus loses her mobility. She gets confined to full-time work in her in-laws' household. She loses social status and opportunities for economic independence. In her in-laws' house, she gets marginalized. She becomes vulnerable to all sorts of abuse, including dowry-related violence. In our country, it's still common for the bride's family to pay dowry despite the practice being illegal. Dowry demands can continue even after years marriage. An adolescent bride, even if her in-laws are supportive, faces enormous health risks during pregnancy and childbirth. Majority of our people are uninformed or insufficiently informed about reproductive health. The maternal mortality rate among adolescents is double the national rate. Now, dear cadets, we know specifically what information we have to pick from the passage. We have to show how the women are being confined after getting married. So we will try to solve this question. So first thing, she gets married, okay? Then the point I took, you see, the first line, second line says, however, 33% of our girls get married before they are 15 years old. So they get married. And then what happened? She, you see, She usually, one of them, give them birth by the time reach 19. So here, from that part, I took the point giving birth to children. Then there is a point that she usually drops out of school and thus loses her nobility. So I took that point, and according to that structure, participle phrase, I made it dropping out of school. Then there is another point. She gets confined to full-time work in her in-laws' household. I made it participle phrase according to the structure given, confining herself to household work. Then the information is, there are other information, but you require 5. So I picked this information that she gets marginalized. I made it getting marginalized. Finally, there are some other points, but I'm not going for that because I need only 5. Each point carries 2 marks. So finally, I'm summing it up, being victim to violence. So dear cadets, this is the possible way of solving or writing answers to flowchart. If you have any question, please feel free to ask through the comment box. I will be delighted. I'll be very happy if I can be of any use. Please, dear cadets, teaching learning process becomes successful, become effective when the learners communicate with the teachers positively. It is affirmative that you communicate through the comment box if you have any queries. Well, if you have no queries, then go to the next part. Here we have a homework for you. So first, read the question. Based on the reading of the passage, make short notes in each of the, remember this, make short notes in each of the boxes in the flowchart showing the names of some important diasporas and causes mentioned in the passage. Here, in this question, you have 2 dimensions. Some important diasporas and the causes mentioned in the passage. You read the passage, you get this information. Here, you have the freedom of writing 2 different things. One is some name of some important diasporas and the causes it. The structure is diasporas of the Jewish people in ancient time. So we have to follow this structure and fill in the boxes. Dear cadets, I hope you will try this at home and you will try to, once you have learned something, you should apply the knowledge. If you apply this knowledge, then you will come to know how far you have learned. So test yourself. Thank you, dear cadets, for your patience and joining my class. I hope you have been largely benefited from my class. Now, the next part is Corona pandemic. Dear cadets, all these activities is evolving only because of this coronavirus. This is a deadly virus worldwide proved. There is no doubt that it may take any of our life. We have to be very cautious as the world has completely failed to produce any remedy for this virus. The only way to stay safe from this virus is staying home. So we are encouraging, requesting, and to some extent forcing to you that you stay home and stay safe. Hope we're meeting some other time. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Thank you. Regards.